Yep,
Everybody.
we sure.
All right, we'll get the meeting started here for July 8th. We'll do a roll call.
Happy Park, Ward 2.
Nikki Land, Ward 1.
Brian McGreevy, Board 2, interim mayor. Steve? Are you there, Steve? We got Steve's remote again, so. Hey, Steve, we're on roll call.
Yep, I'm Steve, Bovee, Ward 1.
Are you able to hear yet, Steve, or should I keep you on like that?
Can you keep me on like this?
Yep.
I'm not getting nothing.
Okay, sounds good.
City attorney.
We'll do a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
And to the republic which is this, one of which and it is all with me with the system.
thing on the agenda there is approval of last meeting's minutes. If anybody's had any questions or who's missed on there.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 17 regular meeting minutes.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of claims payables. Anybody have any questions on claims payables? They don't give that air line, they do that. Oh, it's very, very expensive. The price is what's expensive. What's a load? Work?
It was 2 days and a half, so it's like 2,000 load. And they just 25 cents per load, so if they get rid of the so.
Yeah. Otherwise, I didn't have any questions on anything else if you guys. Nikki, you want to throw in?
I'll make a motion to approve the claims payable for July 15th through July 8th.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Alright. Public time. I want to state for public time, if we could have everybody come to the podium, name and address. And then this is not public time for the public hearing. That'll be separate. So if you have something for the public hearing, that'll be on the new business. So if anybody has something else for public time, you're welcome to come forward. No? All right, we'll move on to public time. I've got old business. Baltic Heights Concrete. Brian's working on quotes for that.
What this is around the perimeter of each of the fields up in the heights. I'm supposing to have that concreted just so that we can eventually get this kind of dress up field. Everywhere the facility you go to, they spend a lot of money on just making it easier to access the ADA lines, just so people can get around if they're not walking through the ranks or not. We do them underneath, which is still good. Reached out to 2 local concrete contractors in town. They decided to work together on this project, so it wasn't like one person overbid the other, for competition wise. It'd be an exact and focus on them. So the bid is that's me, the is $31,550. So
Did they have an idea when they could do it?
I told them at any point, they were about a month out, they figured right now, but then still going training for the student, but they know if they're aware of.
Okay, yeah.
That's about the only other thing that's gonna be a conflict, we don't want them doing anything, they were hoping they'd get it done, so I feel like this was done. So.
Do we feel like since they both didn't bid it separately, that we need to find another one, that we have a local contractors and anybody else?
And I feel it's a decent number. I mean, 13,000, there's a lot of square footage up there, so I think we did it, and it's within the guideline, 7.5 is kind of. choosing on the site work, so we can all see the project from other communities from all countries.
I feel like it's two local guys that are gonna do it together. Which I think that's pretty great.
And that's it, I just reached out to them and well, there might be another conflict that didn't even miss them, I just know that.
I just wanted to make sure it was competitive since it was. Since it is.
Got that?
Is that money available in park improvements at this time, or are you?
We have money in the
That's
park
money
budget.
Incoming from FD.
Yeah, we have money in the park budget already, yes. We're actually gonna go through that later in the meeting, through the finances.
Would that be the same time to question if that is the best use of those or if those dollars allocated for parks? Because you seem to pretty much only have ball fields. And the events people for people something and very easily for the same amount of time.
That was, I've invested about 85,000. For basketball, for the two courts.
That seems crazy if you're putting in that much concrete. It's just.
But I think that's concrete fencing, those spanners. What's that mean?
In the perimeter of the ball fields of higher priority than paving the arena. Just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
not that I'm pinpointing efficiency, but I just see that as a need
Sure.
as well, because it gets so rounded up and.
Yeah. I would say it's just more user friendly. It's more than. Long things and something that's just something that you can't keep having, well, it's limited how you use, but it's still just.
I don't,
Yeah, one of those things, and this way, with the way I'm using up, it's timing in the shelter and the on the east side of the concession, so then. You'd be able to go along the bike path, get your own concession and influence, and to the shelter, it would be. Mediate. Meets. Just trying to clean them up and just making it a little bit nicer, eventually we want to.
Clay, connect to that concrete.
Yeah, it'll tie into their assessments.
Yeah.
So everything will be tied
Yeah.
together, other than just the one lower one will just be two access points and not. It's a little bit different to grade on this, so.
Hey, Ron, to Christian's point, wasn't there a double basketball court moved in this year's budget? Because we approved and voted for it, and now we're putting that to the budget to have that double basketball court. And then Zach Hughes have said that he would help with the pavement and donate the labor. And that was supposed to be up this spring.
That was, project. Services, and this would be one of these.
Okay, I just want Christian to know that they're choosing this over now basketball court was already approved.
Follow up to that for the bleachers, but that's not counted in this 35,000. How much is it gonna be down the road and bleachers to go with all of this?
They would, I think for some of them, we wouldn't have big ones, but it'd be 5,000 maybe for some bleachers, depending on how we go. You can get the 3 rows up to 6 rows, but then the 6 rows get more expensive, or 5, 6 rows. Because you have a chain coming on the radiated components. And the standard would be saying there. So there's just one of them, just and one of the aspects of the same as it is. The 50 layers needs to be sweet towards. One of those things with resources, I'm talking to the ball association, they're willing to fill all the different ways. To try and utilize ball funding, so we see information. So we're just trying to work together, they did that, that, they got that. So we're trying to work together to make what facility you're having this.
This is saying like basketball hoops won't happen. I passionately would like to see that, right? But we do know that those baseball fields are used constantly. They had heavy use several last, however many years, and now the high school has a team as well. So I'd be expanding it there on that.
Is the school gonna help pay for that since it's the same as in sport?
We've talked about it. I don't know if we sat down.
We have not had time to sit down with the school board or anything, working with himself. I don't sponsor that.
I will say as a citizen, 2 weeks ago, I was up there for the ball tournaments and it was busy morning to night. Saturday and Sunday. I mean, it was packed. So they are getting used to it.
That was, 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw this.
Brian, what was your conversation with the ball association on like what they plan to help out with or when they were looking
One of the
at?
things there, the kind of bleachers.
Was it
And they said their whole bank on that was it was on. And then if we looking at doing some week, that would expedite the purchase of some big bleachers because they know that they won't be damaged, because I mean, even at the school, I think when Randy moves,
Yeah.
they get tweaked, you know, these would be probably mounted, I don't, you know, so that they can't be moved, tweaked unless you pull out ankle bolts and stuff like that. But that was one of the things that they had said, that if, you know, if we're looking at that, they were looking at different things, but if we're looking at that, then way we get rid of the old bleachers that keep running away and stuff, so.
do we have an idea of how much money would be left in that fund that's allocated for Parks and Rec after, if we were to spend this? What was the main chunk?
So I'm starting trying to help Steve get on.
Budget.
I got the budget printed out for tonight. Mhm. We have, and this isn't in like the parks fund itself, this is in the general fund for parks. We budgeted for 175,719 and we've only spent 22,797. And then we also do have,
And that's.
SD
including-
Fit.
That's not including,
We haven't gotten money from Hefty yet, or from the Grant Park.
Yeah.
Lacey, are all the platforms in black at this time?
Oh, yeah.
Because for a period, we had one fund that was still in the red.
It wasn't, I think it was going to be if we had spent as much. We haven't been in the black with anything or in the red with anything. It was just, we were figuring out like budget wise, if we spent all the money we anticipated spending. There is,
You said that 175 is without the.
we've gotten, 2 payments of 25,000 since, one was last year and we just got another one about, a week ago.
And that one, this speaking.
It's 25,000 a year over year for either 5 or 10 years. I can't remember specifically.
But I thought they did a different agreement when we signed the title paperwork. I thought he said he was gonna pay out.
That was a lump sum of like 250,000.
But the 275,000 is to reimburse the taxpayers for the infrastructure loan that they should have never had to pay. That's to pay off that loan. That's what we're.
There was money specific for parks still.
But it's only at 25,000 units, unless it's different in the settlement agreement. I didn't see that.
And then a small amount in SD Fit, PMA, like 300.
What was budgeted for the basketball courts? You mentioned, you had budgeted money for it and then it was reallocated. How much was that again?
That was-
90,000, right?
I think it was.
That would included
85
the.
change, yeah,
that
but it wasn't necessarily, so that was voted and passed. It wasn't specifically funded, right? So that's just
Yes, it
the
was.
part of the
Yeah,
parks
the
budget,
for parks, yes,
in the
it was.
parks budget.
And you voted for the
Mhm.
basketball court, it's amendments.
See, yeah, and it, parks, that's part of the budget that's already there. So you're looking for a motion? Yeah.
Did you get see that?
I'm getting him the password now.
Yeah.
I just sent the meeting ID and now sending the passcode.
Has he been on?
He can't hear.
No, I should hear it's Keith, right, from this discussion. Oh.
Yeah, I've got him on the phone right now. He can hear. So
Steve, did you have any questions on any, stuff for Ryan? On the concrete?
No, the longer we wait, this more it's gonna cost. That just goes hand in hand.
Right.
We found that out with that blacktop. But he's done a good job. I appreciate his hard work.
Well, I'll put a first out there, in favor of, motion forward to spend the 35,550 on concrete, for the bleachers.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
Alright,
Opposed?
Brian, would you reach out to BAA and see if they'll,
I'll talk to Troy and stuff like that.
and
He, that was like when I talked to him before, and this sort of, yeah, we kind of just go to the white match of painting if they were going to consider it's changed a lot of what they will discuss at the meeting. He said, I talked to him, and the attorney, but they had an outstanding term. A lot of concession stand sales, and so.
yeah, let's follow up with them on that.
We'll move on to new business. This will be the public hearing time, for the lot.
17.
Yep, 717, yeah. 428 Levelly Avenue. On 528, sorry. We'll open it up, I guess, for public time. If anybody like to speak on it? And for
Voting that time on public.
3 minutes. Yeah,
Just want to make
yeah, no, that's good. So anybody like to come forward and name and address?
or if they're representing the developer.
Yep.
still disabled on your end, I think.
Okay, I'll look here. Is on not. Like everyone else, I can allow their mic, but him. And it says you're on hold, Steve.
Yeah,
People on.
Like, see, these people I can do allow mic, and I did that already on his.
Did he press on hold on his end?
Are you on, did you press on hold, Steve?
Did you press your mute button, Steve?
no, it's,
Kick him out, tell him to leave and then.
everything I could possibly touch here and it's not.
Steve, how about you leave? Steve, leave the meeting quick and then try and come back in. From your phone.
From my phone? I'm there from her computer.
Yeah, from your computer. Can you pick in front of people and people?
Mhm.
Wow,
Hold on one second.
it's not
Pull
even.
out. You can kick him.
Can you hear us on the phone there, Steve?
I can hear you.
Now try to
Try and join back.
try to
on
join
your
back
computer.
in the meeting.
My computer is not working at all.
He just wasn't able to talk on the meeting, so he should be fine. Steve just wasn't.
Yeah,
able.
can you hear everything through the phone there, Steve?
It's been
Yeah,
really.
he wants to.
bad.
For the phone,
I've been trying to get on.
I don't know.
But on the phone conversation we're having right now, can you hear everyone okay on the phone?
No, sir, just lazy once in a while.
Okay.
Then it's like it's a bad connection, but I got 5 bars on 5G rigs. I don't know what's going on. It's
I don't
not letting me
think.
join the meeting for some reason. I got blocked
Can you
out.
send that a link?
He's got the link.
Do we want? Oh. Please scroll down to the phone then. So you can get published.
Yeah, Steve, we're just gonna have the people talking for public time, hold the phone so you can hear that.
Yeah, just.
We'll do what we can until you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
You can just put it face down and it'll stay up there. And it should still, yeah, because the mic is down below. So it should still work.
Slowly slide over.
My name is Christian Swenson from 230 Negros Avenue. I also am the president of Baltic Area Development Foundation, so I'll speak a little to their stance on the apartments as well. First, for the Baltic Area Development Foundation, as a group, we had a consensus that this was not the best use of the limited commercial opportunity for development in Baltic. All of you were at that zoning meeting a couple weeks ago, so you heard kind of the stance on that. Again, just want to reiterate that that is not what it's intended for and is not the best use of that. Secondly, I brought up the limited infrastructure, whether it be a water supply from rural water or the waste processing that we're already paying for a new addition on. And then even like school capacity and how all of the tax dollars tie together and end up in a limited pool of resources for the community to work out of. And the department will tend to not generate equivalent dollar amounts per household versus a single family. So I don't know if that is the best allocation of the resources. And since the last meeting, I have had some questionable things occur with the specific developer. First of all, they're not even able to maintain an empty lot. Like if you drive past it, they're 5-foot tall thistles. I called on it last week and was told that they promised they'd take care of it before the 4th. I also drove by there right before this meeting. It's still not taken care of. So they clearly aren't even managing what they have. There was not a chance that we should possibly allow them to manage 10% of our population. Also, I talked to Minnehaha Rural Water and they informed me that they had tried to bypass the city and just hook up to rural water straight without the city. And so that was also another like, that seems pretty sketchy. So I'm thinking that this specific developer is not one we want to trust going forward, and especially on the magnitude that this apartment complex would be for the impact on our community. That's pretty much the synopsis of where I'm at. The Baltic Area Development Foundation is opposed to this. I'm opposed to it. Just about every person I've talked to is opposed to it. I would encourage you guys as city council to represent your community well. Make choices tonight that we don't regret in 15, 20, 30, 50 years. Some of you might be dead by then. And other people are still going to be living in this community having to deal with whatever you guys do to me. So be prudent with your choices and your votes tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Christian.
Christian.
Anybody else like to speak?
I'm Craig Johnson from 426 Johnson Avenue, and tonight I just like to urge you to follow the recommendation of the planning commission to deny this rezoning. I mean, as Christian said, there's a lot of reasons why it's obvious that, this parcel should remain in business zoning. One other thing from the planning commission, I thought Tony's point about precedent was actually a pretty strong point. Kind of researching, the principles of equal protection under the law. If you give this exception to this landowner and all the other parcels around there aren't materially different than this one, if you approve this one, you really don't have any leg to stand on if any of these other people want to rezone to R3. So by taking this business lot, which is already surrounded by other business uses, and rezoning it, you're probably effectively just opening up the floodgates for that whole area to be redeveloped into high density apartments, unless you did some drastic measures with the comprehensive plan or the rezoning law. And so I think that's a huge risk. I don't think the people of Baltic want to live around a bunch of apartments. Another thing that was brought up is that this is justified underneath the 2021 housing study. And if you read that, so this is a market rate apartment development. That housing study recommended 16 to 20 market rate units by 2025. Tom Roston Builders has built 27, so we're already above target on that. And some people might read that and say, well, it does recommend other rental units, but that's not what this is. This isn't income or age restricted. It's not subsidized or anything like that. So it's on the market rate recommendations. This is far above what that study suggested, even if you extrapolate that out another 5 or 10 years. And lastly, I just kind of want to reiterate one of my other points is that our ordinance is pretty weak when it comes to multifamily. Talking to a lot of people, I think people like what's going on, putting up the attached single-family dwellings and things like that. And I think that really fits in with the, this is a single-family community. And those single-family units are pretty appropriate. And the way that apartments are with R3, and that the restrictions are very weak as far as density and things like that, much weaker than the other communities. I think there's things that we could do, make it, reduce the density, and I think even make it a conditional use, so we can kind of focus on those attached single family developments in the future. So I hope the council looks at that in the future after denying this, so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
Mickey, you.
Yeah, there's 18 seconds left.
Okay, great. If anyone else would like to speak?
Will there be an opportunity for the developers team to speak?
Yeah.
They can speak. Well, yeah, huh?
Okay. So you have a problem with that position.
Yeah.
Explains to me, and I think it's only true that the developer has.
You'll have to-
Yeah, no, yeah, we were just talking.
Troy,
Troy is here,
Okay,
Lyle's here. Multi-unit family housing is here, property management's here, and I've been asked to speak on their behalf as a subject matter expert about it.
so Troy is, they're the engineer,
Lyle's the builder.
builder, property manager.
Who's coming up to the podium?
You want to start?
It's making.
What's that?
Or,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
now or during a different time?
No, you can come ahead, unless anyone else supposed to
Yeah.
take use of public time.
That's fine. And then that way we can address their concerns.
We'll do public time because
Sure.
I'm not associated with the development.
Okay,
That's okay. Welcome, or thank you for having this opportunity. I'm Denise Hanslick. I live in Del Rapids, actually, but I am the executive director for the South Dakota Multi-Housing Association in the state of South Dakota. We represent over 43,000 rental units in the state. So I just have some information that I would like to share. According to the website that we utilize, We Are Apartments, there are 91.3 thousand residents in our state that rent their homes. There's over 61,000 units that are rental units in the state. And according to them, we need over 596 units annually to keep up with the demand for the housing. So there is definitely a need for housing in our state. One thing I want to point out is we do a vacancy survey on a group of all of our members for the Sioux Falls area, which includes Baltic and Del Rapids. We did it in January. I will again be doing it here this month. And I'll be happy to share those results, both results with you. But in January, the overall vacancy was 9.46%. That's very high vacancy. Baltic, I can assure you, is maybe 2%. So you definitely, again, have a need for housing, rental housing in Baltic. And one thing I did want to point out in the housing study that was done in 2020, it shows that you are actually losing residents in the 25 to 45 age range. Those individuals typically are higher at renting their housing versus purchasing. They don't have the money to purchase a home, so they rent.
what was that age group?
It was 25 to 45.
Is that like a national number?
No, that is
Is that a South Dakota number?
appropriate for Baltic, South Dakota.
Okay,
That's
okay.
for the housing study that was done on Baltic.
Okay,
Okay. And in that study, they also said that the promotion of new owner occupied single family and rental units are necessary to keep Baltic active. They also pointed out the senior housing, there is need. So what do your aging residents do when they cannot live in their home? They're leaving town because there's nothing for them. This specific project is $8.2 million project. Think of the tax implications, whether that's sales tax during construction or the real estate tax that is going to be brought into the city of Baltic. Yeah, I think that's all that I had, but I am happy to answer any questions that you might have. And again, I'm not a resident, so I have no stake in the game either way. but I want to bring out some facts that are there. And available for the residents.
Did you get your name again? I missed it.
Denise, please.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
We had a council meeting. My name's Lyle Jensen, Colton. I'm seeing out custom homes. We had a planning and zoning meeting last night in Colton.
Hmm.
And they give us this book. I don't know if you guys got this book. Did I deliver it to you?
Yep, I saw it.
Bob Brandon. Dan Biscuit wants to build multi family just for the tax dollars in Brandon. And if you look at the other pages, Baltic isn't even listed in here. Bolton. Was at
Is that put out by SMGA? Is that put out by SMGA? Okay, we're not in there
We're not
because
in there.
we're not a member.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
well, I'm just looking at Colton, we had $54,948 in January of 2024. In January 25, we had 55,000. So we was up 1.6%. But we don't have no place, no land for no apartments, or anything. We're trying to develop some land on the east side of the town. So we can get some apartments and homes. So you have to have people to get your taxes in your city. It's the only way to do it is people into your town. And Baltic is a good town. And they got a sign out here, build in Baltic. So why do I build in Baltic? They got one on the interstate. It says build in Baltic. You know, so these ain't no cheap apartments. Give everyone a set of plans to look at them. They ain't no cheap. Like go to Sioux Falls and see them just straight down. Hartford built all their apartments on the east side of town. And they're just all straight. There's no look to them. And I was in them and they are cheap. So I had a friend that lived in one. So I'm just saying, that's tax dollars for Baltic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Nope. Okay, Chris?
Sorry. My name's Troy, I'm with Willis Lawn Engineering in Sioux Falls. In regards to one of the comments about the rural water, I reached out to rural water after I talked to Justin. Spoke with Justin, he is checking into the sanitary sewer to see if there's available capacity to that. And when I spoke with him, he said I should speak with rural water. So in regards to rural water and hooking up to it, they will not do it. So I'm waiting on the answer from both Ryan and Justin as far as capacity. Ryan got the email also asking for comments, information on that. So that's where the rural water question came into account with his comments. As far as high density, I do a lot of site plans with our office. 48 units is pretty small. The last one I did was 128 for one building. The
Where was
smallest, that is on the south side of Sioux Falls, 77th and Clinton Avenue area. So, questions on the plan or the rezoning of the layout and everything?
Has any site plan change anything or modification?
Not from- Not
From this.
This is a different layout, which is the correct layout that has 90 spaces, which is what was the required for 48 units.
Right.
Since
P and Z fit the.
Well, this is different than what you.
Modification. No, this is.
Site layout.
Okay.
The site layout in the pamphlet you guys handed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The initial one that went through P and Z only had 60 or 70 parking spaces.
Mhm.
This has 90. which
Yeah.
meets the requirement.
Yeah.
So
I just didn't know if there was any changes since then, or considerations made since That,
There may be considerations with doing some commercial, depending on the developer themselves, but I need to talk to them and look through the zoning to make sure of that.
Troy, did you guys pursue any other land?
In town?
Yeah.
I was hired for or we were hired, I should say, for this property itself.
Okay.
do we know if R3 zoning within Baltic City ordinance allows for mixed use?
No,
It doesn't. So there could be a site change or a site plan change within R3 zoning ordinance to allow for mixed use there to rezone.
you can replat the land.
Yeah, exactly. I was just curious how many steps back.
After this initially started, speaking with Ryan, at that point, he had said that they would lean towards the mixed use if we did something like that, but I don't know where that stands either.
Sure.
Sorry.
No problem.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, you can go longer if you'd like.
If you guys have questions, I'm willing to answer them. Otherwise, I can come back if you have more questions later.
You're not the same engineer that's here with EMC, what happened?
Well, I was at a funeral.
Yeah.
My mother passed away and my business partner was here.
Troy is the one that was the first time I talked to him and met him tonight. Troy is who I've been talking to from the get-go and stuff like that, so.
But that's where it's.
Good evening, I'm Amy with Prisoner Property Management, and I represent the investor. And as I had stated at the planning and zoning meeting, we do manage a fourplex here in town. When it came up for rent one of the units, we had to shut down on the website because we had so many inquiries for people who were looking for housing in Baltic. I wanted to read to you, I also wanted to clarify a comment that was made at the zoning meeting about evictions. The eviction laws in South Dakota have changed substantially since I have started 25 years ago. Now, for an eviction, if you have a problematic tenant, you can do a 4-day quit and vacate. It goes to the judge, they sign off for the eviction, and we don't have the process of waiting like we used to, where we used to actually have to have the tenants physically served. They would hide, you wouldn't be able to catch them. We don't have that problem anymore. And so I know that that was a concern that was brought up at the last meeting. The eviction laws are much more landlord friendly. We have a lot of legislators that have rental properties, and they are trying to work with us to make it easier for us to provide good quality housing for tenants and for their neighbors. I also wanted to read just a couple of testimonials that we got. There was a survey monkey that was sent out to the residents of Baltic.
Is that specific to the residents of Baltic?
Yes. And there's a couple of testimonials that we received from the a couple of people here in Baltic. One of them was future tenant as a member of the Baltic community. I apologize, I should have brought my readers. So I'm writing to express my strong support for the proposed apartment complex. Baltic continues to provide itself as a community that welcomes growth, new residents, and long-term investment. And this project is a clear opportunity to follow through on that vision. Currently, the options for affordable rental housing in Baltic are extremely limited. For individuals with families like mine who live here that cannot afford the current housing market where homes are priced upwards of $300,000, an affordable apartment complex would offer a much needed alternative. It would provide the chance for more people to live, work, and contribute to the community without being priced out. This development isn't just about housing. It's about helping Baltic grow in a substantial and inclusive way. I hope the cities will see the value in offering more accessible living options to ensure that Baltic remains a place where people from all walks of life can call home. Another testimonial. My name is Grace Settle, a first-year teacher that will be starting in the fall of 25-26 for the school year. I have no family around Baltic, and I've been searching for a place to live before teaching begins. Baltic has a very limited selection of places to rent. I myself am in no shape to afford to buy or build a home in this market. Having the Baltic Square apartments would not only benefit people like me, but many others as well. I have even looked around Baltic and other small towns within proximity of the last 3 months, and nothing is being offered that works within my price range. Because of this, I'm having to live in Brookings and make a drive every day, as it's one of the only places that's available for me in my price range. I say this and truly mean that Baltic Square would not only help bring more people into the community that need to be there, but it would open up so many more possibilities for others that are in a situation like I am. It would be convenient, affordable, and a new opportunity for Baltic to expand some living options. Another testimonial. My family of 4, 2 little ones, have been wanting to move back to Baltic for almost 2 years, but unfortunately, due to the current housing market, we cannot afford to purchase a home in Baltic. We absolutely love the opportunity to move back, and if there was more housing options available for renting, we think an apartment in the location would be ideal for school and daycare drop-offs. It would help us be closer to our family who have lived there their entire lives. We didn't move into Sioux Falls because we feel like it. We didn't want to move into Sioux Falls because we feel like it isn't safe like Baltic is. We currently live in Colton, but the extra 15-minute drive one way makes it hard for us to spend time with our families like we used to when we lived there. We even have our children still enrolled in the Baltic school and didn't do Tri-Valley because we were hoping something would come along for our family soon. And then the Survey Monkey that was sent out, we had 83 residents from the community responded. And the first question was, do you feel there is affordable housing options in Baltic? 28.92% said yes. 71% of your residents of the survey said no. The second question was, in what direction is our community heading in providing quality housing options to a broad spectrum of residents? There was 16 people said there was currently lots of options. 24 said they could use more variety. And 41 said that it was very limited to potential residents, it was 50%.
So what kind of rent are we talking here
As far as
on these new apartments?
Affordable options, yeah, I guess, yeah.
it's not going to be, affordable is a word that gets so misunderstood. They're going to be higher end apartments. And
So
as
are
I
we talking 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000?
it'll just depend on the amenities that come with it. And as I stated at the zoning committee meeting, all the residents will be screened. We do background checks on everybody.
I'm not asking that. That wasn't the question.
They will
But
be
if it's a
luxury
1,500,
apartments.
if it's a $1,500 apartment and people can't afford apartments elsewhere, they aren't gonna probably be able to afford that either.
Well, I can tell you, I do this every single day. And the number of people that cannot buy houses that need an affordable place to live, people are paying, the rents in Sioux Falls are the highest they've ever been. But because they can't get a house to buy, they have to live somewhere because housing is a basic need of life. And so if they can't buy a house, they have to live somewhere. People are paying the money because they have to have a place to live.
No, my question was, what was the price point? That was my only question.
Rental rates are gonna depend on the area that they're in. The same property in Sioux Falls might draw $3,000 per rent, whereas in Baltic, they do a market study, they check and see what people are willing to pay, and then that's how they set their rent.
So it's not set yet.
I wouldn't set it either. Like, that's something that you do a market study on. They'll see what the other rental rates are for other properties, what the apartments that are currently in town are for, what people's mortgages are at. It's all based on your current environment. This rental property in New York would be astronomical rental rates. Like, it's all based on where the apartments are
I
at.
just wondered because I heard there was a long wait list, so I would assume they would ask that.
At the zoning meeting, wasn't it stated that it would be up to 1,500?
Three bedrooms, costing 1,500 for the 1 bedroom to Thompson.
Okay.
I think that's mentioned.
That's the thought. I can't put that on stone,
Yeah.
but it is the thought.
And based on the outreach that the investors did to the community, there are 16 families on a wait list for the apartments that they are proposing to put up. These people have nowhere to go. And so there either stays an empty lot or there is housing that's provided for these people to have a place to live. Another question that was asked on the Survey Monkey was, can our adult children afford to remain in, return to the community as they start their own households?
Do you have copies of that you can just hand out to us? Because we have other things in this meeting that we need to get through and you've exceeded your 3 minutes.
But I think she's representing.
Yeah, she's representing, yeah, so she can go.
She gets.
Well, I think it would be nice if
But-
we had copies of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little gray, right? There's got lots of people that work for the developer, but we don't have the the own. So.
I guess if I was speaking on this matter, I'd send the people that are experts naming them. So like if I was speaking on something.
But like, my question would be for everyone that comes forward is, was there another property looked at that was owned properly for this apartment complex from the get? And if so, why wasn't it purchased?
I'll address that
Okay,
when it's my turn.
okay.
I have a question for the survey, because that's a survey that's on Facebook. You don't know, you don't know if it was sent something. It was a Facebook post that asked more specific questions.
Neither is going to be biased to the people who've been full.
And the questions were, I know it's not Baltic, I know it's not Baltic. I mean, there are some people from Baltic, I believe, who filled it out, but I know somebody who filled it out who lives in Seattle, Washington. He's out of, he's part of the group. So I don't know, I mean, I'm just saying, I personally would think a lot of states.
Do you have a way to vet that to us?
What's that?
Do you have a way to vet that to us? That you're stating that these people are all residents and they're taking your survey? Do you have a way to prove that to us?
I will get the information. I did not conduct the Survey Monkey, so we'll have to get the information and then we can pass it on to whoever, so you have copies of it.
So, yeah.
But the 16 families on it, let's.
Yeah.
I think last time PNC should say just 16.
Yeah.
Okay, good, perfect.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
So I think regarding the survey, we can all agree that surveys are subjective to one. But I do think that it is an overwhelming positive tone that people want to. I mean, a bunch of
Could you
people
give me the name and address?
Oh, sorry, Deborah McIsaac, 208 My Circle. After the warm welcome they got at the last meeting, they asked me to come help out a little bit, so I thought I'd address some of the concerns.
Are you under employee of the builder as well?
Not at all. I
Okay.
have absolutely no benefit whatsoever.
Are you representing Aaron?
They called and asked me to be a subject matter expert.
She had said that earlier.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. It's just making sure that before she starts, that she knows that she's either got 3 minutes or we allow her time.
We're gonna allow her time as a representative of the,
Thank you for clarifying.
yeah.
Had 4 or 5 people on it.
Hold on a second. Can you speak for me?
Wait a minute.
There's very specific objections I would like to address, and I think it's fair that the council gets both sides of the objections, so that way they're appropriately addressed so they can make educated decisions. That's my intention of my speech.
You manage, maybe how you see that. Yeah.
I'm okay with you if you, I don't want to be here till midnight, obviously.
I don't plan to, you know I talk fast.
So-
You know I talk fast, it's
so,
okay.
I
All
don't-
right, so let's get to it. All right, so R3. R3, from a tax perspective, to your point, I did a little bit of research, and R3 is at the highest tax rate. And so R1 is if you had R1 at a 1.0 tax rate, R3 and commercial are equal. They are at a, what is that number? It is, the mill rate is 2.07 times higher. So whatever you guys are getting in property taxes as a city, you're gonna get 2.07% times the property taxes on R3 property and commercial property, okay? This construction is what, 8.2 million? Okay, so you're gonna get $8.2 million. Not only are you gonna get 6% sales tax for the $8.2 million construction materials, et cetera, you're also gonna get the year-over-year property taxes from that. Now, why does that matter? Well, if it was a commercial lot, no one's gonna build an $8.2 million building on a 300 by 300 lot. So right there, Baltic already wins. You're getting what, maybe a $2 million building you would put on a 300 by 300, maybe, maybe, if anybody does that at all, because let's face it, the lot's been empty for 200 years.
But you're comparing the
Just fact,
apartments for property taxes
Yes.
versus commercial.
because R3 taxes at the same rate as commercial.
For property tax.
Yes,
Yes,
but this is it.
sales tax.
Right, but how much sales tax do you have to make up the difference on double the property tax rate? So like, for example, math. I'm gonna suck at this because I was trying to figure out the math on this. So if these buildings are gonna run property taxes somewhere between $15,000 and $18,000 a building, does that sound about right? Property taxes for the building each? If there's 4 buildings, you're looking at what, $60,000 to $80,000, and then that's gonna be taxed. I think that is at the double rate though, isn't it? If it's 80,000, I think it's at the double rate already. And so then you get, we get our 13%. So basically, if you look at that, how it was explained to me, if it's an $8.02 million project where you're getting the property taxes on it, you would have to have $16 million in residential development to offset it. That's a lot of residential development, or you would have to have comparable commercial. I know that math didn't quite, but that's how I didn't say I said it. I said that's how it was explained to me, because it's double.
Then is it
It's
fact or is it speculation?
Well, what it is the 2.07 times higher rate if it's an 8 point.
Right.
So that's what that's going to be.
But you do agree the math doesn't compute.
I am not an expert on that. I'm just going off the two
And I
lines.
think you came up here as a subject matter expert.
I'm not an expert on taxes. I am an expert on all this.
So Deb,
Yes.
one additional question while you're at, as you're calculating that, are you calculating that in
Yeah.
first
Yeah, if we could-
tax benefit to the city of Baltic?
Oh, no.
Or the 5th or 7th year when they're paying?
That brings up a very, very good point, because those that are aware, we have a sliding scale in the town of Baltic. So the first year you don't pay anything. What is it, Ryan? The next year's 25%, then it's 50%, then it's 75, whatever it is. There's a sliding scale up to, is it 5 years that we did it at?
5, yeah.
5 years, but that's every property data. That's not just, we're not getting, they're not getting like this special privilege or anything like that. That's
But I
every,
feel like
yeah.
it needed to be said.
Yeah, no, that's very factual, yes. Every R3 property that's built in the city of Baltic, we don't see full taxes until year 4 or 5, is that right, Ryan?
If they have to ask for it too.
But yeah, if they ask.
have to ask.
And so far, all R3s have asked for it, correct?
I haven't had any possibility.
That's interesting. Okay, I did not know that. I was under a different impression. That's too bad. Well, yay. Yeah, the city of Baltic, for getting the taxes done. That's good. Okay, so the tax implications are that it equals commercial. So if you're looking at trying to decide between commercial and R3, the tax implications are the same. As far as sales tax, we don't know right now. There's no businesses wanting to come to Baltic. So right now the sales tax is 0. Okay. And as I understand it, or at least in the 4 years that I was looking at it, I didn't have anybody banging down our door. Let's see here, highest and best use. That's really interesting. If we have a highest and best use and we have a property where we have investors that are looking to build on the land to give the city of Baltic taxes, that could warrant it be highest and best use. If you look at the city plan and you look how it's developed, R3 is butted up to B1 all over the place. It's actually really natural to assume that these investors would think that R3 would be a logical, neighbor to B1. It's called good tenancy, good co-tenancy. And so, when we were looking at the lot at, on 6th and Lovely, the guy who wanted to build the strip mall, people were blowing up my phone that lived on 6th Street and around that area because they didn't want commercial outside of their yard. They didn't want parking lots. They didn't want lights. They didn't want commercial and, in front of their $500,000 houses. So you're either gonna make people mad that want to have a commercial, or you're gonna make people mad that don't want streetlights. Some people don't even want park lights flashed into their front yard, let alone a commercial parking. Sorry, I didn't mean to point you that. Okay. Let's talk about commercial property politics. This is so sketch, but what I tried to do really quickly is do a visual of how much is commercial property involved. Everything in green is commercial property. It's either has occupation, or it could be developed, or it's empty. Christian, this looks pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, so this right here, what is it? What is it? Is it 8 acres or 10 acres of commercial property in the city of Baltic? Okay, well, visually speaking, right? Visually speaking, this is what they're asking for right here. This is what they're asking for. There's still everything else. This is,
Built up.
what's that?
Built.
Really, not really, you know, this is. Yes, let's see, people then that's a really good point, let's talk about that. Okay, this is built on, right? That's built on, this is built on. That's not built on, this is built on, right? None of that's built on. This is the school. That's arguably built on, the library, the dog house, all that kind of stuff. This is, isn't there like a lot in the middle of here somewhere? Yeah, let's just take one lot is cute. And then, so, but this is all commercial, so then you got the lot there. Then you got, isn't there like a little space here? Yeah, so then this is taken up, yeah, and then, you know, you got City Hall here. And then that's L1, and then that's taken up, and then you got Kathy's house who said that she'd be more than happy to sell them. And then there's that empty lot right there. So that, this is occupied. And this is not. Many people have been looking at that land.
Well, built up. There is structure.
They're not
They're not.
usable. And they're not usable. You went in that building, you know it's, right?
Yeah.
And so, constantly. This is not taking up all of the commercial land in the city of Baltic. It's taking maybe 1/10%. It's 2 acres.
Look at your available
It's 2
prime
acres.
commercial real estate.
And it's dead center in the middle.
It's not prime if nobody's buying. It's not prime if nobody's.
We're not always talking about for us. We're talking about for the next generation.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. And I agree with that. So what you need to decide is right now, you have investors that have already put in what, $300 investing in the city of Baltic with designs, engineers, all the different conversations. They're only in this to $500,000 already. They're just asking you to provide business risk. Definitely. I'm with you. So what? So what? So you have people that want to move to Baltic. You have land that's available. Nobody else is asking. They're just asking. So let me just, go ahead.
I'm not asking the same question I asked everybody else.
Yeah.
If you're speaking on behalf of the builder,
Mhm.
did they look at other property that was already zoned properly?
Yes.
And why did they decide to turn around, buy land that wasn't zoned properly without a conversation with the city to even consider whether that would be a viable option?
Because of who the landowner is.
Because of who the landowners were,
Correct.
that they bought out.
Yes. That's why. And they did talk to the people that tried to buy the existing R3 land, not once, but twice. And the deal went south financially. The landowner would not come to terms that would work, so the deal didn't work. Yeah, maybe.
So did the developer bother to go to the people on either side of those lots and try and be a good neighbor and ask them what they thought?
I don't understand the question.
Did they talk to Huber or the?
And Huber's and the daycare?
I have no idea. I didn't ask that question, and I don't understand how that's relevant.
I
It
think
is relevant.
I think it is. You have a daycare sitting there.
Right, and that's perfect for apartments. If you have small children and you got a daycare next door, and you got a park in the backyard, why wouldn't you want a park?
They put a daycare there, knowing that the property next to them was zoned for commercial.
And they would be disappointed because they would have families that would want to use their services.
Well, if that's the case, then they should have actually put a daycare there. If everybody needs daycare,
Why would you want to put a daycare next to a daycare? Then that daycare.
they could
definitely
expand
would
that
not be-
daycare that's currently there.
So, let's see here. Let me address some other stuff here.
I really wish the owner of the property would come forward so we could have actually had a
I would like
conversation.
to, I would love to explain that.
I would like to say too.
I don't
the-
want to, I
The
don't,
city requested and they denied.
yeah.
And do you know why? Have you seen the social media? Have you seen the public persecution? Would you want to put your face on that? I wouldn't. LLC is limited liability corporation. What does that offer you?
We all know.
Anonymity, right? And so you know what? There's all sorts of LLCs that have anonymity. The people on Sixth and Lovely, the only person we know is Wes Brolin. He has a whole group of investors we've never met. We have no idea what their name is. We don't even know where they live.
But he
But
doesn't seem to
Weston
want
to a
to.
meeting,
I don't think they're hiding. They're sending you with their whole team to answer them.
But he could have came in and had a, he could have came in and had a meeting just explaining
I
to
would like that. I'm just saying, the reason why the LLC owners are not coming forward is because they are business owners and do not want to be personally persecuted the way this has been carried out in this city. They want to do what they think is best for Baltic, which is invest and provide alternative housing, which is desperately needed in our county. So now let me address these objections.
Okay, like
Infrastructure.
a couple more minutes. Dan.
Yeah, I know, I'm just gonna show you this list, and this is literally,
Okay.
this is literally the things. Infrastructure, do we have capacity? You just, explained the lagoons, right? So we have capacity, there's no infrastructure risks. Is there infrastructure risk? Because we got 125 R1 lots.
And when the facilities plan done previously by Goldman Associates and ISG vetted that information and gave a wrong. We, with the way the system is designed, we certainly do not meet standards for capacity right now. We,
So are we stopping building on every other lot because of capacity?
Deb, how is that?
Well, hold on, let Brian answer that.
because with that growth, we had that development story, so the cases, then it is just the after the thought that at certain points, we will have to expand, so.
Have we defined what those points are? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Is it when we have 20?
well, he doesn't have a map, he doesn't have a crystal ball, neither does anybody else in this room.
Right, but it took 20 years to build Valley View, so we're gonna stop all of our building. Does that mean we're not at capacity for commercial either?
Well, you have to plan on that. We've already allocated resources to be used for those lots.
Oh, no, we're at capacity, Christian, we're at capacity,
Well,
right?
at some point, those are there and exist. I know there's a whole show and there was some.
I would like to have a logical conversation, either we're at capacity or we're not.
Well, we may not currently be, but.
So we
that-
have capacity.
No, let's go back again and just clear that whole situation up there. Brian is saying that we're currently at capacity.
We don't need Daniel to stay.
Correct.
But we are not in violation of anything because we can take what is being proposed. But at a certain point, if we have a overload of certain areas, like what we have for the growth of what we have probably for the R1 units. If those were unfilled, we would be adding a lagoon. So now, that was. Oh. Houses, that just escalated.
And this is recent information that the city will have to be looking into in the near future.
Correct, that is one of those things, so we the growth plan and we know it's with single family houses. We can anticipate a slower growth period, it's not adding hundreds of houses.
See, I'm gonna give you 2
So we
minutes.
have capacity.
Yeah, but
Plan for growth program.
You got like another minute left here. Then we've got, yeah, nope, you go ahead.
Well,
1 minute and then we're gonna put you, we've got some.
We absolutely have, we are way good school. We absolutely have capacity. Taxes, we talked about double the rate. Let's see, land management issues about the mowing, that's ongoing across the city all the time. They're setting notices all the time, every day, even residential, that goes on all the time. It's nonstop. Let's see here, precedents. Changing this to R3 does not set timeless precedents. There's no such thing as precedents in municipality. Otherwise, you guys would have built the basketball courts. You have a right, every administration has the right to overturn any previous decision. So there is no equal protection under the law. That doesn't hold up in municipalities, does it? Because municipalities, they're a special kind of animal. And so precedence really doesn't exist in municipalities. We make it up as we go along, we follow our ordinances, and if we have to make a judgment call, we do it. Here's your legislative body.
We're
So
gonna,
that goes out the window.
we're gonna,
Almost done.
no,
no,
no.
we're done.
No, we went long.
We're done.
Thank you.
I've got a couple online guests.
One last request.
What's that?
I was just gonna ask, May, to clarify the student's question.
Each is a case by case basis, so you have to take the totality of the circumstances in each case.
Okay.
But there are political considerations.
Okay, thank you.
I have one last request. There was a packet that was distributed to the P and Z committee, so they had more information to be educated. It had testimonial letters, it had some other things. So my request is that the developers would like to submit a packet of information to the city of Baltic that could be put on the website as a credible source instead of the defaming website that's out there right now with misinformation. And then that way you have the information, the taxpayers have the information. This aligns with the fact that when elected officials get a packet,
Okay.
taxpayers should have equal visibility. I just am requesting they get.
We've
that
got a live person, so we're gonna go to live. Go ahead.
Teams earlier.
Oh, okay,
Are
okay,
you-
great.
Are you just like
So-
under his guest?
I'm Merritt.
Oh, okay,
So-
then I won't.
Name and address.
Kira Beck, 420 Lovely Avenue. We're relatively new to the community and we came here because it is a small town. We both grew up in small towns. I grew up in Garrettson, he grew up out in Minnesota. We are for having more apartments in Baltic that are affordable to our age range, because we are in that age range of 25 to 45 that is desired for smaller communities. But we don't think that location at this time is a good decision. The traffic is going to be a lot higher. The city has not put in enough sidewalks for kids walking to and from school yet. They use our yard all the time, which is completely okay because it's safer that way. Increasing and throwing in 100 families all of a sudden on the main and road through Baltic is going to cause pedestrian traffic issues and vehicle traffic issues. We agree that at some point Baltic needs to put in more apartments so it attracts more of our ages, but that's not the time and location. So we want to keep it a small community. We want to keep single family homes and attract. We were able to afford a house here, which would not have been possible in Sioux Falls for what we got because of how the community is set. If we start throwing in giant apartments on the main and only road through Baltic, we're gonna start having a lot of issues.
I appreciate you coming from watching online,
Yeah.
coming down to speak.
Keep talking, we're gonna run.
No, that's fantastic. I really appreciate it, Deb. Thank you.
And just so you know, for the people online who have your hands raised, pretty soon here, when we're done with the live, people will go ahead and let you speak as well.
Deb Paulson, 416 Lovely Avenue. We moved here in 76 because we wanted to live in a small community. We wanted to have good neighbors that we would know. And I have to tell you, Eric did a very poor job of representing you at the P and Z meeting because everything that we asked him, he was not prepared to answer. Basically, what I got as a takeaway from his presentation is we're coming. Once you zone us, we're gonna do what we want, and we don't care that we don't have overflow parking, that we don't have handicap parking, that we're meeting the minimals, that we don't have adequate garbage, that we don't have plans for water overflow, that we don't have plans for snow removal. We don't care. You let us in, we're gonna do what we want, is pretty much my takeaway from what he had to say. And I agree with Kier. We have a lot of traffic on that street already. You guys listen to me every month, mention about the speeding on that. We do not need to add 48 more units with a possibility of 1 to 3, maybe 4 drivers per unit coming out onto Lovely Avenue and increasing right in the middle of our walk zones to our school. Everything I hear coming from the developer, and I think it's a shame that he doesn't want us to see his face, that he is afraid for us to get to know him as a neighbor. I think that's sad, because you know what? That makes me mistrustful. And I don't care how much you try and make numbers dance, because we know people can do it, we've all lived with it. I don't believe that this 48 units is good for our community in multiple ways. I think it needs to be someplace else in the community, because I do agree with her. We need multiple units. this is not the place for it. Let's make a good informed decision and not regret it a year after it goes in and it's nothing but trouble with things where their whole priority is, what can they wring out of this community? Thank you.
Thank you, Deb.
Thanks.
We're gonna do a couple online.
All right, I unmuted. It just says guest, if you still want to ask a question.
Oh, so you can put it up there. So you can-
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Steve Law is still on. On the phone.
I believe so, yep.
Okay, all right.
I'm still on the phone.
We got you. Gotcha.
So if the one named guest still wants to ask a question, you would just have to unmute your mic. Otherwise we'll move on to AB.
Was that yours?
Merritt's.
No.
Nope.
Were you under Gio's guess? Okay.
No, she was under.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
Re-unmute that.
Oh.
She's on and on.
Oh, no, that was Steve.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she was on? Okay, go ahead. Sorry. You might have to unmute your mic again. That's her. Oh, so you machine.
On your computer button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's information.
Okay. Gonna move on.
Yeah.
All right.
Just put their hand down and then tell them that they're being prepared if they want
Okay.
to speak again.
Okay, AB, you can go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, so.
I can't hear really, I can't.
Second. Really.
Do you have the audio going to?
I probably have it going through there because I need it.
Through this?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any external speakers?
Off the speaker. Okay, go ahead and try to talk. Otherwise, we can call her, is it Amber? Mm-hmm. Amber, Nikki will call you, okay?
What's this one?
Can
Can you hear me?
Yep, we
Yeah,
can
we
hear you
got you.
now.
We got you. Name and address.
Oh, fuck. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm so sorry about that. We had you guys on speaker and then I had to flip flop from the phone. So Amber Buttmeyer, 512 Kyle Avenue. The thing about the evictions they were talking about earlier, I did work for a law office and you can't just change the laws. You still have to go through the proper channels of doing evictions. So you would still have to go through the summons and the judgment and all that stuff to get people evicted. That doesn't change just because you live in a different city. I just wanted people to be aware of that. Other than that,
Eviction laws did change 3 years ago through the legislature.
That is accurate. It's still easy. It's easier.
Okay. Anything else, Amber?
no, just that I definitely do not think that we should rezone the commercial property.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Amber.
Thank you, Amber.
Thanks.
All right, so I think we're done.
One more
Do you
that
have one more?
raised their hand 5 minutes.
Okay,
says.
wait a minute.
Hold on, I'll see you.
So I'd be using 2.5 minutes, and I can do second one and
Hoffman?
Hello?
Hold on 1 second.
Vicky, time it out.
Is Hoffman on?
Yes. Can you hear me?
30
Yep.
seconds, Vicky.
Okay. So my name is Sierra. I live over on Kyle Avenue as well. I just want to say that it makes sense to question like the location of the new apartment complex. I am in that age range that they mentioned earlier. And I'm actually in support of the apartment. I understand we all, have the right to weigh in on changes to Baltic. But I think, we need to really address how we don't have enough housing. You know, when it really comes down to the traffic, I think, there's a way we can come to, middle ground on that. Also in regards to the Survey Monkey, I can verify, I was one of the people that also said we need the housing, and I know 3 other people that also agreed to it. We keep saying we need to build in Baltic, come build in Baltic, but we don't really have that affordable, price range for some of these families when a lot of the homes are also, upwards of 300,000. And people in my age range, and, I'm in my 30s, there's still a lot who like to rent at this time, and they're not to that point of where they want to buy. This developing, this apartment isn't just, just about housing. I mean, it helps Baltic. We're growing in a sustainable and an inclusive way to be able to help ensure, our elderly parents who live here can also stay in the area by moving into the apartment complex. The current one that we have, I know of 2 different families that I'm friends with who have tried to get someone to live in that apartment complex, and you can never get a hold of them. I love that we're building these new townhomes, but at this point also, I don't think that's still going to be enough for the people of the community. And that's just really what I kind of wanted to say.
Okay,
Thanks, Sierra.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Jim, 30 seconds.
So first, less this last one, Deb, who obviously had a strong connection with the developer, everybody that spoke to this was outside of the community in support. Most of the people that live in our community were opposed. And then another one of Deb's points where we kind of got into some differences on numbers, the tax dollars. It's not worth selling our core of our town for $1,000 in taxes up front. That is short-sighted and would be regrettable even 10 years from now when somebody actually does want to do a business there.
Thanks, Christian.
Think I'm under 30 seconds.
Good job. All right, so
Even if there's 5 left, they're not doing too much.
Troy, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's right.
We'll keep her short though. Okay.
In regards to some of the questions, I
Sure.
just wanna, as far as the number of tenants, you're looking at 48 units. It's not 100. Speeding, you're still gonna have speeding with commercial or multifamily. It's not gonna change. Hopefully it actually slows down because you're gonna have more people turning into a residential area where there are kids. So hopefully that slows it down. Parking, I will say the requirements for Baltic are higher than Sioux Falls. 1-bedroom apartment or a studio in Sioux Falls is 1 parking space per unit. Here it's 2. So as far as the number of parking stalls, you guys are exceeding the rest of the area. Water runoff, we are looking at doing a BMP if required. Right now by ordinance, it is not required, but we are looking at that in the northwest corner, which is where the water runs through and would follow the road out from the ballpark. There was a statement about asking Baltic for something, and they're not asking for money, they're asking for rezoning of this property. Basically to help out Baltic, not to hurt them. The other thing was the tax. So 8.2 million, 6%, 6% of that is $492,000. Where if it's $400,000 building, you're looking at 24,000. So there's a large difference between those taxable numbers just for the permit.
Thank you. Anybody on the council have anything? Speak.
Did you ask me? The Q2 vote.
Oh, no. Well, it's not relevant. We can talk about it later. It's not relevant for this, though. We're avoiding this council members.
Yeah, is a 2-2 vote?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Sorry.
It's a 2-2 vote on non-members. or is it a table, or?
So we were actually just.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I thought that, yeah.
Should she already?
So the statutes aren't actually conclusive on what would occur at a 2-2 vote with an interim mayor.
Sure.
So you would be able to vote as a councilman and then the title as just an interim mayor. And we can discuss further for the future events.
Any other council members want to say anything or want to vote? What do we do?
I guess I just have concern with that, and that if there's a 2-2 vote, that in turn you would have 2 votes. Not that, I mean, we can agree or disagree on an item, but that if that's not the case, or even if it is the case, we have 2 council members on P and Z as well. And so if they come out of P and Z and feel one way or another with only 4 city council members, unless you agree to something, since I'm not on P and Z now, my vote counts for almost nothing. Because I'm not on P and Z and I don't get 2 votes like you. So I think that this group collectively as a whole needs to take a hard look at that. I think we need to take a hard look at the zoning ordinances. I think that this group needs to put together some sort of informational meeting with P and Z, and we look at a scope and the scope of Baltic, our zoning ordinances, because, you know, talking with Ryan about this, like, and hearing from constituents as well, like, it is very broad. Right now, if a developer were to come in and see B1 and then now R3 is right next to it, logically, those 2 would go next to each other, but based on opinions and feelings of people, they meet all the requirements, but we don't like it. I think that we as a city need to take a hard look at that and make some adjustments to it, because I do feel like there is a huge need for apartments within the community. There's a huge gap for people to be able to pay that amount of money per month to live here in town. And it's concerning. Do I think this is the right project in the right place? I haven't come to that determination yet, but I want to be able to support our P and Z. I want to be able to support our community and the opinions that people have, but I see a huge gap here. And we only caught it as a city because a developer came in and suggested something, and then we looked at it and said, well, ordinances don't meet what we want them to meet. And now we're putting catch up. And I don't like doing business like that. And I think that we really need to take that. So I'll let other people make a discussion, but I personally would like to table the whole thing until we figure out one. Either through information, I'd like to invite the developer to come in and to a city hall and talk and actually meet and see people, answer questions. I think everybody that's come from the developer is the expert person in that area. And I appreciate everybody coming here, but if I was someone that spoke positively about the apartments, I'd probably call them too. Because I don't know you come in, you're gonna get your head shut. You know, it's just one of those things where you be cordial, but everybody that's gonna come here has a strong opinion against it. I'd stay at home and say it, stay from home too. Or not done. So I guess that's, in my opinion, that's not an accurate representation of Baltic either. In phone conversations that I have with people, there are people that are for it. I have local business people that are for it that have sent me some read off as well, but there are people that are in support of this. They're just not willing to come and say it. But that's it. But they have me as an avenue to be able to say that for them, whether I feel it or not. But I think the board needs to really take this into consideration. 1, our P and Z has 2 city council members in it, and 2, our city council government is set up to where you would votes in that. Yeah, that's correct.
So the ordinance states that 2 city council members are on finance.
That's fine. I'm just saying that you're on there, Steve's on there, and then say you 2 vote yes or no on something, you come here, you both vote that way. If Brian and I both disagree or agree with you, then Brian gets to vote again, and now my vote can back again. And so what's my job on the city council then? When anytime there's something that goes through P and Z,
Okay, well, and I see your point, but as far as city council and planning and zoning goes, I work for the citizens. I don't work for you or Brian or Lacey. I work for the citizens.
So do I.
So whatever I've gotten from them is the way I'm gonna vote.
That's great. I'm not trying to sway your vote. I'm just simply trying to make sure that our city government is set up in a way that's fair and equitable for all of the citizens. And then I'm also trying to prepare our P and Z so that way they can make educated decisions on the things that they're trying to make recommendations to our city council for. If you were a part of this P and Z meeting, you saw how it was run. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. And we don't have a comprehensive plan. We don't have a vision for Baltic.
We actually do. We do.
I'm just saying, we as a group need to get together and go through this.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I like your idea about planning. Yeah, I like your idea about planning, especially with having new P and Z members. Yeah.
It's the only,
And some of it in all fairness to Jake and Zach, it was their first one.
Yeah, that's.
But I know what you mean.
yeah,
It was.
I just came into this position as well. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page, so that way when a developer comes in and is willing to spend $8.2 million on something within our city, that we're all on the same page, whether we, and we can take our opinions of our personal opinions out of it and do what's best for both.
So I think that I kind of agree with you. I totally agree with you. We need apartments in Baltimore. If we want to keep our youth that graduates here, that's a great place to capture them, to make them future homeowners in the community. Right? But that doesn't take away from the fact that as long as I've lived here, this has been in place. That has always been the planning up there is for commercial. And to drop an apartment in between a daycare and another business, it makes no sense to me. It probably financially makes sense for a building because it's level ground. But as a city, we don't care what someone's ROI is. If they had to buy property in a different location that changed what their building cost was, that's on them. That's why I asked everybody who came up, had they looked at a different property, have they looked at a different structure? It just seemed odd that it went right smack in the middle.
Did you have like the answers that you were looking for on that?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if they looked at property in different locations and what was the reason that they didn't go with it?
The bank couldn't finance. It was a non-starter. They couldn't get the land.
So bank wouldn't finance, so for instance, which property, like?
They talked to the people that wanted to get the trailer park. We all know who this is. I'm not naming names. Brian knows, you know, we all know. And they couldn't get it done. They looked it on paper, and as soon as the bank went and looked at the land and saw what needed to be done with the creek, they're like, we're out. They couldn't get financing. So when this group talked to that group, they said $250,000 to even make that land usable. And that's just the creek, that's just the waterway.
So could it have been financed with more upfront investment?
I don't know, you got a checkbook? No, it was a non-starter. So if you're a builder and you're looking at this and it is almost undevelopable land, right? So if you have a banker that says, we're not gonna give you money for it, Lloyd Property Management looked at it and they said, we're not touching it. They've been trying to sell that land for 5 years now? Nobody will touch it. It is excruciatingly difficult to get that to work on that land. So when you're looking at Baltic and you're looking at all the areas that are, all the 10 acres that are available in Baltic, you know, when we go to Christian's Park, we look at the part that's taken up, what's left? There's nothing left in Baltic. There's nothing left.
Well,
and Christian knows this.
That doesn't mean property can't be purchased on the edge of town.
But it does, because no one's selling, Brian. No one's.
That's what they said about the land out there where Grant Park is.
True.
No one's selling. Sioux Metro Growth Alliance failed miserably in our city because they knew no one was gonna buy the land around city limits. Nikki, you were part of those conversations. Don't shake your head no. You know it. Solberg was in.
Hey, I'm gonna stop this. Public time's over.
Well,
This is discussion for the council. Okay. Well, I asked that when you were here.
And I tried to answer, but everybody kept interrupting me, if you recall.
We've got an answer. So that land unusable or wouldn't finance that for that. Yep. So if we took that piece of land out of the conversation, is there other land in town that could be rezoned or usable as R3? Because there is currently R3 right now on Lovely Avenue,
Right.
right now the storage units, bringing it from, they're just doing the red or glass. Versus rezone, hold on, because then it's those and then storage units, they're facing each other.
Sure, sure.
So there are apartments on Lovely Avenue. You know, this-
They're on steps.
Yeah.
Six then.
Six of them, yeah.
The street still exists.
Mhm. But I just don't.
That's
believe-
my concern. Sorry, like, we've got someone that wants to do something like this, but we don't have anywhere for them to do.
Yeah.
And we're unwilling to budge on a huge chunk. All that way.
And mixed use is out of the question.
That's part of a conversation that I want this group to have with.
So- I wouldn't have an issue with that so much. But then again, I think that's a conversation that started back with Builder and planning and zoning. They've been to planning and zoning recommended, no change in zoning. So I guess that's you, Matt. Vicky, yeah, I'd like to make a motion to deny zoning, rezoning.
I'm second it. I second it.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Aye. Okay. Good. Yep, that'll take us out of, out of public. All right, next, thing on the agenda is dog day closures. Okay.
Let me grab it first.
We have anybody here from the days?
Me,
Oh, you're here, okay.
I'm here for dog day.
Oh,
Reluctantly.
I literally marked that one off and I'm like, what do you mean? Aren't you supposed to be talking about Alexa?
No, this is super exciting. Okay, so on a lighter note, dog days is coming up. And,
We're gonna make everybody happy.
yeah, it's gonna be so fun. Corn Dog Company's coming, which is like the highlight of dog days for me. Okay, so we have some activities each day that we need road closures for. This pink piece of paper, Friday, August 8th, we would ask that we have closure from the City of Baltic office to 3rd along St. Olaf. We're gonna do a paint the street yellow with the kids from like the doghouse to the city. Cause the theme is, what?
from the doghouse down, right? To the
Yeah, just for the city. Do you think we should go all the way down to Oaks?
I don't care what you do.
I just,
Originally, we were talking going to the park. But last meeting, the question was, well, the.
What part?
oh, yeah, but then, yeah, with
And
the
then we
beanbag tournament,
Yeah.
we can't. So really what we need is from the city of Baltic to 3rd for the beanbag tournament and the paint the street yellow. It's a Wizard of Oz theme, and for the parade, we're hoping to have all the kids paint the street yellow for the Yellow Brick Road. Can I just give all of these and then we do one?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Saturday, August 9th, we're asking for 1st to 3rd along Love. Why did I put Lovely? St. Olaf. Oh, because I always think,
That might be a little bit more work.
She's been.
I did it both. It's been a long week. Steve. Okay, from 1st to 3rd along St. Olaf Avenue for the 5K and the mile, the parade, street dance. So the closures would be staggered. Beginning at 7 a.m. and ending at noon. And then we'd open it back up. And then closing again from 3 till 2 a.m. for the street dance. And then Sunday from 1st to 3rd along St. Olaf Avenue for the cruise and car show. Closure beginning at 9 a.m. for them to set up and ending at 4. So really, most of this is the same as last year. I took it from last year's. I just tweaked it a little bit for this paint the street yellow event. Otherwise, I'm asking for the same things as last year.
Somebody would make a motion, just all group it, dog days for road closures.
Mm-mm.
I'll make a motion to approve the dog days road closures on our pink sheet for Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Second from Steve, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Recording and audio.
So that's the owl stuff. So as many of you have heard in the past, I haven't gotten any feedback yet. So this is, you know, depending on the feedback, I suppose, from tonight.
No, this is the same thing. I think we, so, yeah.
We'll probably, but yeah. So we last week, just so everyone knows, we had to use a webcam for that P and Z meeting because our owl died. And we had to order a new owl and it took a little bit. So the sound was terrible. The video was, I think, okay, but depending on the feedback we get from here, there is an accessory that I'll go like this because then people can see. There is an accessory you can get. It's a mic accessory that we could put up on the podium, which would help a lot for people talking. It would just provide a more clear sound for the people who are online and the recorded version that they're going back to watch. It extends the audio range by 8 feet, so quite a bit for this little room. And then it has a mounting bracket, so we could almost even put it up here and wire it somehow. But anyway, if we did want to get the extra accessory, it's an extra about $250. And then can I just get like approval backdating for this all? Because it was a lot of money.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about it the last meeting, but obviously we tried the other route and that was
What
not
was
a
the
good
value?
one.
What is it above our threshold?
No,
Well, I'm not
Yes, we
supposed to order, I think,
She
over
doesn't want to do
500. And this was like $1,000 for this.
See what you're saying. Did
So I
you
just-
get a price on that phone too, acoustical phone?
No, I haven't gotten that yet. I have to
Maybe,
reach out to
maybe we
a
should
client.
try the phone
Tape.
and then see if we can bring in the phone if we need it or something.
Sure,
And anything we can do to make it better, because that was painful.
it was bad.
yeah.
Yeah. And when we tested it, it sounded great, and I don't know.
You need a motion for approval of the new purchase of the owl and upgrading with the sound.
Yes. Yes,
I'm good.
Can I make the motion to approve it?
sure.
Because the audio was really horrible.
Awful.
And so, and then I wasn't able to be here for the meeting, so I'm watching it later. Well, I wasn't watching it. I was trying to listen, didn't even listen to it, so I pulled up the transcript. Is that transcript automatically come because of that?
Yeah.
The transcript's automatically generated in YouTube.
Yes, that was great.
Okay, so it did pick up some of the words
Oh, I should have
on the
tried to
track.
make it.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
The transcription did a pretty good job. I
Good.
think you had to interpret yourself, but
Sure.
yeah,
Okay.
this will do that, right?
Yes. And this is doing it tonight too. It's a Teams thing. It'll always have the transcript.
That's something.
I'm hoping that mic should keep it from bouncing around
Yeah.
so rapidly, right?
Yes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Um,
Passes. You feel better about that now?
I do. I feel so much better.
You want to talk about, House Bill 1130, election law, ASBO, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So Leah Anderson from Minnehaha County reached out to the cities that she felt would need to know this. Normally we have our election in April. And I'm not quite sure. I gotta get some more details. Maybe you know a little bit about this, May, but they passed House Bill 1130 beginning in July 1st of this year. And she said the basic premise of the bill is that during even numbered years, municipalities and school districts must either hold their election in conjunction with or combined with the primary or general election. If your election is held in conjunction with the June primary election or the November general election, you would have a separate ballot or would have a separate election, but it would be held on the same day and time as the primary or general. So my take from that is we would be in November now
I believe so.
instead of April. 26th instead of April because we have to have it the same.
And they will just have it separate ballots.
So April will be kicked back to November?
No, ahead, right?
Okay.
It would be the same year. Well, I don't know. How does
Well, we need to check and see if there's a school election.
Is it November 20?
It'd be, so that.
Oh, no, because, well,
So there's nobody going up. for
but it
school
says
board this
even
year.
numbered years.
Maybe, let's have, maybe you want to research that?
Yeah.
And then bring that.
You let us know, but I wanted it to bring
just so we're fully understanding.
Yeah.
You take a look at that, and let us know.
And here's,
Yeah, yeah,
Let us know what we're supposed to do.
yeah, tell us what to do after the fact.
so
All right.
just wanted to bring that up.
But not.
Fourth Street, what's that?
Do you have to have an election after, at your next available election date, if you have an open position that was wanted for?
Yes,
So that would be.
yes. For the mayor's position, there has to be an election. Remember, I got caught in that same.
And Edwards, because he took
Yeah,
over.
and Edwards, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Mhm.
Did that happen this past year? or-
No, because
This coming?
the members that left.
Everybody's up for election.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, everyone's up for election this year.
well, I would not be for my Alderman seat.
Oh, right,
Next-
right.
But you would be if you went for mayor.
I would, yeah, correct.
But a mayor.
Yeah.
It's usually either, right?
It's
He
correct.
doesn't for election.
I will be.
Yes, Ward 1 had one and
And
Ward
then-
Or two next one.
And Steve, he was appointed, so Steve will be up for reelection because he's just continuing.
Was Steve appointed or did he take out a,
No, he was appointed, well.
No,
Steve-
no, Steve ran unopposed, so he's.
Unopposed.
Oh, well, there we go.
You're here too, Steve.
Well, then he's the main man, then. He must have a lot of time.
Let's move on to the Fourth Street parking and alley. Ryan, you got something on that?
Okay, it's just with the Fourth Street, what we're looking at is putting no parking from metermost. Really, there's nothing all the way down the way, there should be no parking on the west side of the street. Neros to Viking, it's steep ditches, very limited, especially with the 4 together. Just to help with traffic flow, and then on the alley where it would be turned. Right after. There's any one with the police department's gonna be there,
Yeah, yeah.
it's an alley, but some of the residents in the planks will park in that alley. And then making it harder for the few residents plus the need to get to the road front. So what it is just to put. An ordinance, I think it has to be an ordinance change, there's changing street ordinance, so if everybody's in favor, then what we do is create an ordinance to. And that's a, parking the same street.
Just one side of the road. You're saying parking on the other side permitted. So parking on the west side permitted, east side, no parking.
No.
No,
West
side
side.
park.
West side is, okay.
And then the alley.
Right.
That's what we're in.
Just, and they're not just. No, not, I mean.
It prevents this side. So you.
So this would be, are there people parking on both sides of the road?
Right now there is, and he can't get through. And May said she would draft that ordinance.
So it's very limited. I know up by. If we don't have part of that video, it's a little bit wider than that. Once it gets past the alley that goes to the church. It's not really. So it's really the. There have been people parking on both sides, and I think, I've even seen it with some people at park. Back in Moorfield with it's no ditch, so you can park on the street, well, then it is barely one vehicle.
Yeah.
to Get through, so it's hard for the EMS to get through this, so we want to limit prevention just for one side of the street, the first street. Residents, they reach out and stuff like that. It's big as a tree for bottleneck, but that's what it's very, construction is going. It's good and then it's the emissions and the ocean.
Which is working from the fourplex movement?
There's off street, on the street,
They're on the street.
so they have two parking spots for the fourplexes. And overflow, it's the street and it just gets too narrow.
You lost some traffic on that road too?
Yeah.
While we're talking that area. Where the fourplexes are going north, where we used to have the slide hill that now goes down into the detention bond area. Will there be guardrails put on there? That is a very dangerous area. If somebody were to come off there, you're gonna have a fatality because there's that really sharp incline going down and there's just not a whole lot of room there. So. So I don't know if we want to be responsible, but it's not the city's responsibility. If you would draft a inquiry to the school, I think that would be.
Yeah.
I know it's.
It would probably be the school. It is.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Like I'm surprised.
But it,
And it's
Now and it's over the one.
but it goes just flat down to the bottom.
They just slide in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never
it's,
seen one roll there.
Isn't that?
Have you seen cars
the
go down
new
the hill?
area?
No, Fifth.
where the kids.
Into the skid.
Oh.
From the water tower down
I'm
to.
talking about, you're talking about. I'm talking about.
it is just, it is.
When you're going to that, it's like right before.
It'll be.
I guess, Deb, it's something I've never thought about. Honestly, it's just something I've never thought about right there.
Drive it.
But I could look at it.
Especially after the sun's down.
Yeah.
Because it's very important every day. And
It's up in ordinance change to.
I feel as long as we're all.
They want to have a first reading and a second reading.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to have major, and then review it at the next city council meeting.
Second, anyone?
Thank you, Meg.
Second.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Steve, yes, where's he at? So, okay, so it's,
Just.
I'm gonna hand the phone down to Ryan.
Well.
I want to explain it to Steve, you could.
So
The guardrail.
where Tom Roston's put in those new fourplexes, the traffic gets pretty tight up there. There's been people at times will see the street. What we're doing is limiting parking to just the east side and putting no parking on the west
I
side,
have one on my desk.
all the way down pretty much. Fourth Street.
It's not even.
Nice to get my parking. You know, there is no places over there. And then we put no parking in the alley that goes through the because there's people from the overflow from the multiplex that go through in that alley. And there's two homeowners there and that to get. Correct, the street parking, yeah. And then we're just trying to limit it to one side of the state, only parking one side of the street, just so there is adequate room for at least one lane of traffic. It'll still be clear for two, but it's clear for two lanes of traffic in a lot of parts of it.
Steve, are you okay with, having made draft up an ordinance for that?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, that needs to be done.
Okay, all right, we'll move on. Engineering update, Oak and Ash.
Yes, still with the Oak and Ash project, big update there, just a couple of still outstanding items on the punch list. Same main items for that tree trimming, a little bit of grading in some of the lawns and the bedways. And then one area that needs to be true a lot of raise them. I reached out to the contractor this week to push with that, so let's see a little bit of movement. Getting finished up and getting folks out now. We still do the retainage there, to push them along. Main lift station project is progressing well. Contractor continues to make progress on the lift station and the wet well.
We felt the rain.
Yes, luckily just because of the buildings themselves and slime out there. The precast has been enough in the building, so the building now. And they're gonna continue to rest that building, work on some of those exterior finishes. Some of the larger process piping and electrical items shipping this month, as soon as those come in, they'll start to some of those things. Check activities there. For that, we do need acceptance of the application, I believe, number 4, in the amount of $212,830.87.
Let's make motion, let's make first. That need a first on
The application.
the application for 212,830.87.
Okay, application number 4, 212,000.
I'll second.
87 cents.
In favor?
I.
Right?
Perfect.
Station alternative, right?
I'll jump down to that Fifth Street.
Okay. Yeah.
That one did get delayed based on the holiday, and some of the rain we got last week.
That's what I figured.
They did move today on some of that road grading, so it's good to see some activity out there, which is great. They did get pushed, but they're still looking at that kind of 3-week.
It's gonna be done well before school starts, right?
Yeah, because they're still looking at the same length of or duration of the project, but they're still done. It's so good there. And then that should progress to no problem.
I think that's current on it. What's the new train timeline on that? What's the new? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yep. And that's from today. So end of July, the future should be. Pending rain. Yep. What's that? Pending no rain.
Yeah, so, end of the first week of August is what you're saying.
First, we had a good meeting with Mount. I mean, the lock on that project is the simplicity of it. We're not doing anything super intense. And we wanted to make it pretty simple and easy. So we'll not to be as susceptible to as much rain. Obviously, it's really much. So. Just another additional little note on Main Lift Station, they haven't taken all this material, standing the up and expecting also that project should be moved up by end of July. The additional should be great, so. The stadium, it's changed. We're still talking about next year, it's yeah, it'll be designed this year, so once we get that work order, push through this DOT, then we'll engage all of them, so that we get. It's gonna be a small line, so. What's the timeline on working for phase 2 on it? For phase 2, that's. Once we're in this phase, I would recommend that we start looking at the application next year.
I think that's already out and it's supposed to be in by Friday, so I'm hoping, I'll get a hold of, Sean and make sure he's getting that in for us. But I think those are due on Friday, so. Sorry, not this Friday, they're due the 15th, that's Tuesday. Oh. Sorry.
I just wanted to make sure that we were on phase 2.
Yeah.
Because I know this with another guy, or with the project getting going on. That's the role.
What's up? Exec session.
Thank you. Absolutely.
We don't, he just told me to add it in case.
Unless you want to.
Yeah, does anybody have anything for executive session?
You could move it though, you can move executive session down because. And so that way we can talk about those stuff, so then.
Yeah.
When we go into executive session, you can probably visit, no more business coming out.
Oh, are you just telling me for future to add it to the bottom or?
Well, that way, if there is nothing to be discussed after,
Okay.
that way people don't have to stick around.
Okay.
To see what.
We're just gonna public works updates and finance update. I don't see us needing an exec session tonight. Unless you guys do.
I do.
Yeah, we should scratch it. Public works update.
Kind of, the kind of one of the things, just looking at, different things, again, like it was kind of, I haven't had a chance to speak with the school district to see what the overall scope and role of the whole association, we kind of all want to get together because with the facility being utilized, at least starting in April, March, April, it would be nice to get something, is there any assistance from the school district, ball association, what's everybody wanting to do, and what's the concept of everybody goes through it, because I know one thing was like what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you know, if the Troy Valley School District participates in any city towards the city or their facility usage?
I don't know if they might try. The only thing is they streets the field and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Rob's crazy.
Yeah, and it's going to be, since we, I don't know what the state requirements are gonna be. I think next year, we might be able to play it in the home facility in the field. So then, because we don't have a scoreboard, so then we want to be playing for what we need.
I was just curious to see, given that you're on the school.
But yes, but with that, with the new facility, a new high school, they added a softball complex there. So we might not have to utilize or certain things, and that's for the sake of the schools, but I'm not sure what we're going to engage in those for. So that would be the thing, so.
Just knew you were within that.
It's
new and
just the same facility agreement that Baltic and Baltic School has, And it's really, I think City of Crooks actually puts up the temporary fence and takes it down, and the school district just serves the field. And that's kind of, it's that we. But then the place. Taking the fence down? No. One time, yeah, he didn't like it.
He didn't like it.
That's when I was.
Very particular. What, is he very particular? Didn't want to be.
No,
No.
he was up
He
there.
didn't want to do it.
He was up there and he was lost. He was like, what do I do? I'm like, well, you follow the faded lines that are. I don't believe it.
Anything else, Brian?
No, just, yeah, trying to get things done. I mean, there's something that we need to do. We had a gentleman, I'll just say this, came in and was looking at, park improvements to River Park, you know, camping, they did the kind of question, well, we don't have priorities for labor camps, they. Full of the, you know, we don't work with them on some of those campsites, the ones that are class are the only places we have to, and it's been a plan for a long time. If we want to bring like where we think the camper should go, then we designate it with the grass, they can camp when it changes. It's same thing with campfire rooms, if we put a campfire room here, that might not be utilized because other than the center stands, a lot of the spots are pretty short, so it's really hard for the camper signaling unless you can tweak how that lays. And that was what I told the gentleman, and he's going to camp on trees and there's these trees, and yet they should be removed. But the whole part is do we put them down and plant new trees where, because they're in the good spots, or do we put a new tree next to an old tree and hope that the new tree doesn't get pushed? And then that's, so he was like thinking, and I was like, you all these thoughts. So there's another thing if anybody wants to think about what is the best scenario. I mean, because I don't time because I want to be in the day about the picnic tips you can get through the state, through Pheasant Land, which is Springfield prison. You can get nice heavy duty aluminum picnic tables. So referred as and monitors faster with it in it, and the river is in so much meat and stuff I'm probably about nice things in the facility that is in watching. So there's all sorts of park improvements we'd love to do, not just in Baltic Heights, but in every park. It's just what do we want to do and how do we limit some of those things? And one thing is campers is I don't think it was 100% full over the 4th of July, but I think there was 1 or 2 spots that were left over. So it was pretty well utilized, but again,
Do funds collected down there goes to taking care of those type of upgrades?
no, it's just, you know, we get good funds, but we do spend money on porta potties because people making money.
Yeah, we hauled rock in down there this year too, didn't we?
We hauled to the driveway, really limited. I mean, so it's, we could do more. I mean. So, and then maybe a thing that we do with the falls that I talked to Spear Drug Township about using, having them come in with their blade and cut the roadway in, because everybody knows when it rains, it gets washboarded. So we could cut in the driveway a little bit more. And so we put a lot of dirt on the driveway, so then it'll be, once it rains, it can muddy needs. And then people will have to be understanding, we're looking for that in there, try to reshape it, so hopefully it's better in the future, because then it's really smooth, so. But that's it, yes, you know, that's.
Finance update.
Okay, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do you want to talk about the burn pile?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Oh, Lord.
The rebel site.
No, he said he was done.
Yeah.
No. This needs to be addressed.
Okay, Lacey was kind enough to catch videos of people coming in.
Oh,
outside.
good. Throw me under the bus.
So, yeah, she's over the house. Watch out. Lacey's watching everybody in town. But, again. Came from the west, so they came
Out of town resident.
Yep, so again, this is a facility that's used for Baltic citizens. They dumped materials, and then there was some materials that were dumped in there that are reached, and we need to go through. There's also someone, I don't know if it's from in town, but if you want to check the neighbor's yard, they put a new green tree thing on their yard and put new spindles. There's a whole stab of them in there. So again, those are not permitted. So if the state would come in and do that, they could end up finding the city of Baltic, because those are not permitted to be in they have to be disposed of in a waste facility. So again, it's just ongoing where it keeps becoming a problem. And I can't say that it's not Baltic residents, but we do have proof that some non-residents are using the facility. It's just getting to be a mess because we can lorry bags, things facility. Everybody cleans out their pickup or their trade when they're out there. Which again, can't get some trouble with the department. They take them as full license to an restricted use facility.
Did you look at the permits that were out for anybody in the back row?
Looking at the different permits to see if there's any, it's so hard. I know there's like 3 people in town, so and it's still not, yeah. It's
We don't know if it's the contract. And it wasn't like, it was just like a pickup with stuff in their back end that we thought, I mean, it was 2 pickups with huge trailers where they were clearly coming back and forth, taking down what looked like a grove of trees. Like it was a lot.
So it is, so my thing is, it's getting to a point, and I hate to punish citizens, but do we shut it down for a while and make everybody suffer? Do we spend money on things, expenses that are be expensive? Or do we may get those people that, dump outside? What's that?
Can we put a game cam out there?
I did talk to the CHS because they were kind of would be open to, and maybe have to look into maybe getting a game camera, because then you can mount it somewhere in their facility. Because if you put a game camera, we almost have to hide it because it could be damaged, it could be taken.
Somebody will steal it.
So it's so hard to work to put it, but talking to CHS,
Even if we found out who it was, what's our recourse?
we've been told by the deputies that since it's public ground and it's open, there's not a full lot.
So when you need to look at an ordinance specific to that.
Or a resolution for a fine.
The one thing is what it could be, and I don't know how you word it, but work it, because we have City of Baltic has access to CHS property, because we don't want any property to get to it. We have a utility easement for us, for the City of Baltic to get to it, so everybody's using it. Or if we put a gate in there and someone is caught trespassing, we can keep them off of our facility and they're trespassing on CHS.
So we need to do something in order to levy a fine against somebody doing illegal dumping.
That would be amazing, because I don't know again how.
Maybe let's take a look at that. I think that's the first thing to look at, instead of buying fencing or trying to manage it or anything else. Yeah, let's see if there's something we can do there.
Well, that may get me on it.
May's gonna come out on Saturdays and Sundays now.
Or that's it. Anybody else?
There you go.
We could police it, we could put a fence around. In most communities, Del Rapids, they have someone that sits out there, opens it up, and it's.
But it restricts the hours too. That's the thing I just
Right.
hate about it.
Right, but at the same time, like I was talking to Nikki on the phone today, like when we lived in Sioux Falls, you had to drive all the way out to Waste
Yeah.
Management. and It takes 25 minutes.
Oh,
to get
yeah.
Out there, and if you don't have a tarp trailer, it's
Yeah,
$25 fine, and then, it's a pain, and it costs money to go out there unless you bring out your little free ticket. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that the Baltic community has such a great
Yeah.
service there. And hopefully it's not Baltic community members that are running, but we need to figure out something.
And I drove by, today. The facility, the fence is they've got, if it comes up with a piece of rope through it, and it's how they control their access to it. It's clean, it's really clean, because it's related to the side of the school, and they said all the new plans that's getting developed. And so I think there was just, they have a water facility just go, but it's clean for me. I think as the residents just take care of it that much, because the risk is you just lose it. So if we all sorts of things, we can clean it up in the morning and you make just a drive through at the end of the day. Something that but this was over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for May.
Are you doing the Hershey's?
Yeah, I would rather some days than be
No,
the,
this is Saturdays.
oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay, quickly, I'm just gonna give like an overview of where we're at. I went over the first 6 months of last year and the first 6 months of this year, and I just wanted to let everyone know kind of where we're at, where we have 16.89% higher, I don't know, cash, whatever, than last year. So, right now with our current checking savings and SD Fit, we have almost $300,000 more than we had last year. In our SD Fit accounts alone, we gained about $30,000 in interest alone in the last year. Yeah. And I just want to point out, I guess, one of the big things is, you know, with the settlement and why it was so important to get the settlement done was, our legal fees last year at this point were $30,693 just from January to June. And currently we're sitting at $4,600. So it's about $25,000 less. Sorry, not that you should charge us more. We're utilizing legal services a lot less than we were.
Our expenses in general.
Yes, yeah, way down, everything, 50% less for council expenses, 90% less for, city hall, like quite a bit less. We've just been, saving money as much as possible, so.
It's great. This addition, so.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
So this addition was probably included why it was so much cheaper this year.
90%.
Was quite a compliment.
Is that last year?
What?
Sorry, so your numbers not cool.
Oh, no,
I
that was a couple of years.
It was 2 years ago.
Honestly,
This
it
one
was, no,
So.
there was other projects last year going on, so like,
And we're gonna have more.
engineering fees are a little different, and so are legal fees with the settlement.
Okay.
And then in wages, we've, cut down on staff, we have less staff than we had before, and in insurance, we're not paying as much as in health insurance anymore, and so we're just doing as much as we can to
Make our
load our
money.
accounts so we can do things. Yes.
Congratulations, like.
Oh, yeah, I wish I could keep it. I could really shop with that.
Oh, man.
Well, is that it? That's all you got?
That's, really, yeah.
Okay. Well, the way to,
It's amazing when you're good stewards of somebody else's money.
you had a request for someone for time.
Yeah, I just was gonna ask, I guess, if I could have, someone sit for a few weeks while we get this switched back to Banyan. The good thing about getting it switched back to Banyan is that then people can pay ACH or be on auto pay without a fee. Amongst a million other reasons, it would be better. And so the problem is like a day like today and yesterday, I have had constant people, a lot of times 2 to 3 people in the office at once and my phone ringing. I don't know how I possibly can get this switched over unless I can't come at night because then they're not
So
here.
you need just uninterrupted time. to
Back
work on
here.
the changeover.
Yeah.
So how many hours a week and how many
Like,
weeks do you need?
If I could just get somebody in here, like even just 25 hours a week, so I can dedicate, the afternoons or something like that. 25 hours a week where I can have somebody from noon to 4 or
How-
whatever. I would say 2 weeks, maybe 3.
Let's just say 3 weeks.
With the new office hours, do you need noon to 4? Or is that because the phone still gets answered during that lunch break?
Usually five.
Yeah, I guess maybe we could do 1 to 4. I just thought.
So you're just thinking one of the people that we've already got on payroll.
Yeah, somebody that's already
So-
helps out. I just need them here a little bit more so I can do this. And I probably will do is not take a lunch for those weeks just because I'll just eat while I work because I just need to get this transitioned over and make sure it's right. So when the audit comes, we're not like, oh, I don't know where.
We can't really turn you down after you show us the money ahead.
Well, one, I think you should take your lunch.
Yeah.
Number one.
I haven't been home today since 8:30 this
That
morning.
means when you do extended a week, then we extended a week, like, we just
Okay,
do it
Should we just say,
per month basis.
you want to just say like a 3-week?
sure. 3 weeks
Give her
is
a month.
plenty. Okay.
Okay, go up to a week. Up to a
Up
week.
to a month if needed.
But you should explain what's going on again.
Again?
Because we had, just let everybody know, saying that we're switching back.
We're
So
switching
we're going
back.
back to the old computers or the software system we had. And so because everybody remembers what happened when these transitions in this one, it was kind of a. So hopefully this transition back does not have the same issues we had.
That's the purpose, is to make sure that doesn't happen. That's why I'm wanting to do this, so that we're not gonna have the same issue. Someone is gonna be making sure everything is good. So, sorry, I know that you're in a,
And you
You gotta
got down the rate set
What's that?
for part-time now.
Well,
Rate set.
we're talking about just employing,
Yeah.
people that we already have, so, yes.
yeah, no one knew or
I'll
anything.
make a motion to approve a part-time help in the city hall office firm.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
I'll second.
Aye. All right, next one.
Season from tomorrow, who's that go?
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's it. So
Okay,
to
I'll
see
make a-
somebody, yep, good,
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 9:10 PM.
a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, both.
Yeah.